Silicone computer chips are now big business, and that makes them an attractive target for a new kind of crime, high-tech crime. Brian Ross takes a look at it in tonight's special segment.
Just before midnight in Sunnyvale, California, and the graveyard shift is about to begin at one of the big electronics plants here in what is known as the Silicon Valley. Many of the plants here operate around the clock under government and military contracts.
That looks about 7 microns.
Turning out tiny computer chips used in industry and also used in jet fighters, missiles, and nuclear submarines. This man worked the graveyard shift in the Silicon Valley, stealing computer chips, tens of thousands of dollars worth, to get money to buy heroin.
How many burglaries would you say you did at Hewlett-Packard?
It was about 10.
10 burglaries? Mm-hmm. All at night?
All at night. All at the graveyard shift.
State and federal law enforcement authorities say tens of millions of dollars worth of the latest in American high technology products has been stolen out of the back doors of plants in the Silicon Valley, often by plant workers and others who use computer chips to buy drugs. This February, police and FBI agents arrested a plant security guard and charged him with being part of the biggest theft ever of computer chips in the Silicon Valley, more than $3 million worth. The chips were stolen from this storage room, equipped with burglar alarms and television cameras. And authorities say the people behind the burglary had a lot more in mind than just drugs. The stolen chips were among the most advanced made in this country.
In boxes like this.
And the FBI is in the case because the chips are believed to have been stolen on order for shipment outside the United States.
I think outside the United States is a very good possibility because the Eastern Bloc countries are looking for this type of state-of-the-art product.
This is Mexico City, and this is the Soviet Embassy, an important place, according to federal authorities, in the west to east movement of stolen American computer chips. Federal authorities say for 6 months now they have known of the involvement of Soviet diplomats here and in Canada in the black market dealing in stolen computer chips. Authorities say some of the chips stolen in California, often just to pay for a worker's cocaine or heroin habit, are being sold and resold in large quantities for big money until they reach here, where Soviet experts look them over and then send them on. Twice a week, Aeroflot, the Soviet airline, has flights from Mexico City to Moscow. And federal authorities say these flights have become very important in the movement of stolen American computer chips since President Reagan stopped all Aeroflot flights into the United States last year. In Washington, a Senate subcommittee will hold hearings next month on how so much American high technology is reaching the Soviet Union.
There's been a total of about $100 million in stolen, highly technical information in the electronic and technology area in the last 5 years. $100 million worth of stolen technology.
Police in California have not been able to do much about the black market in computer chips. There have been raids at suspected black market locations, but few of the stolen chips have been recovered, and witnesses have been scared off or silenced. The day before this man was to testify about the theft of stolen computer chips, he disappeared. 2 weeks later, he was found murdered. The backdoor black market in stolen computer chips is a $100 million business involving drugs, murder, and espionage. Brian Ross, NBC News, Sunnyvale, California.
Child chemical leak earlier this year. The state has been checking the groundwater surrounding other companies that work with chemicals, and it's found one of them with a similar problem in Sunnyvale. Traces of 4 toxic chemicals have been found in groundwater beneath Monolithic Memories Corporation. 2 of them are solvents used by the company, ethyl benzene and xylene. They think that other 2, TCE and polychloroethylene, enter the groundwater system from somewhere else. These findings came after Monolithic drilled 3 holes about 10 feet deep in the ground surrounding its building.
They would get there from leaks in tanks that are in a lot of the solvent tanks in the semiconductor business are underground tanks. And if they've been there for some period of time, it's possible that they could have busted, eroded, or leaked into the system. We don't know yet. We have no indication yet that any of this come out of our tanks here.
The company has 2 underground tanks that hold solvents, and since their findings, one has been emptied. Workers are now checking it for leaks, and they hope to determine soon just how great the danger is. Monolithic Memories is the first of 1,400 California companies answering the state's request for more groundwater information.
The State Regional Water Quality Control Board is investigating chemical contamination at yet another Silicon Valley semiconductor company. But TV 36's Bill Buckmaster says the company where the chemicals turned up may not be responsible for them.
The Water Quality Control Board is investigating chemical contamination recently discovered here at the Monolithic Memories semiconductor plant in Sunnyvale. Monolithic Memory officials say that the contamination includes 2 industrial solvents, xylene and ethyl benzene. State investigators suspect some of the contamination is coming from other electronics facilities in the area. Investigators are now trying to determine which plant is responsible for the groundwater contamination. Monolithic spokesman Ray Gouldsberry tells me that his company is digging new test wells and retesting existing ones to determine how serious the water contamination actually is.
We're not sure, this is from our plant or from whatever. This is just in the soil in our facility. Upstream, we found more chemicals than we did downstream. So we're not saying that it's ours. We're not saying it's not, just too early to determine.
Monolithic officials say that the contamination has not affected the drinking water here at this manufacturing plant, the silicon chip wafer manufacturing plant in Sunnyvale, where some 1,200 people work. Monolithic officials point out that the drinking water here comes from the Sunnyvale drinking water system.
Good news for the shrinking labor market in the South Bay tonight. At least it's good news for the technicians who make memory chips, or fab wafers as they call them. One company in Santa Clara, Monolithic Memories, is bucking the layoff trend in Silicon Valley by planning to hire 350 new employees over the next couple of years. We asked a company spokesman why he's hiring when others are firing.
Well, I think we're planning ahead. In some of our product lines, programmable logic product line, which we've been designing in for the last 4 or 5 years, is now we're starting to get some fairly sizable orders on it. And also, we planned ahead in terms of having a fab facility ready for the upturn.
One company official who believes the upturn is just around the corner, so Monolithic Memories in Santa Clara is taking job applications for fab operators, and they want 350 over the next couple of years.